Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and this is part 4 of By Force, where we are going to spin our super duper high tech wheel here and figure out which of the guilds. I've included the gate deck, the 4 or 5 color gate deck, we are going to force in a traditional draft on Ravnica, Guilds of Ravnica on Arena. One thing to note that's come to my attention after listening to a recent episode of LR, Limited Resources, is that they've changed kind of the way the bots work. The bots have more of a intended purpose in what they're drafting, so it may not be as easy to tell or force a certain bot on your left into a certain color pair because they might be coming into the draft with like a certain script as to what they're going to draft. So by force might be taking a little bit of a hit by that, in that we can't just like pass powerful is it cards to the left and basically guarantee that that person's going to be an is it. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what we're going to be drafting this time. Good time to tell you we have a Twitter page that is MTG_ManaRock, so feel free to follow us there. And looks like we're drafting the 4 or 5 color deck here, which is kind of neat. This is going to be a little bit different because I have a little bit more leeway as to what I can draft. I'm just going to take powerful gold cards, mana fix-in, and probably prioritize some of the Gates Matters card. I've done this a couple times before. It is one of the more fun decks that you can build, but also one of the more volatile decks that you can build. You'll get mana screwed a good number of times. I think you should prioritize making sure you can cast your spells, so cards like Gateway Plaza are super neat. Thankfully, we opened a card that's actually quite good in this archetype, this 4 or 5 color deck, and that's Guildmage's Forum, which lets us filter into different colors and works really well with the gold cards we'll be prioritizing. I probably want to stay away from double colored cards too, unless my mana fix-in turns out really well. But we'll see how that goes. Ooh, Gatekeeper Gargoyle is also a pretty nice one to go ahead and kick things off. Guildmage's Forum is not a gate for what it's worth if you have not played a lot of guilds. I'm going to go ahead and take the Gargoyle. And you'll see probably some sort of pattern here where we get a pack like this and I'm not super interested in any of the cards. I mean, this is just kind of a weaker pack altogether. Then I'll probably end up snapping up a Guild Gate, which I'm pretty happy with. I like Plague Crafter, Notion Rain. I like just card advantage in general when it comes to this sort of deck. So I'm probably going to pick up Notion Rain or Plague Crafter here. I think Garrison Sergeant's pretty weak, but you can play it in this deck, and it'll almost always have double strike if you prioritize enough gates. I think I'm going to just pick up Plague Crafter over Notion Rain. This has been a fine card. Ooh, Guild Summit's also pretty good to pick up here. Devious Cover-Up. Looks like Dimir is wide open with the Notion Rains coming around. Also Electrostatic Field, which I don't hate, but I'm going to take Guild Summit, and we already have 2 of the payoffs for drafting what we're drafting. Follow that up with a Notion Rain. I'll finally take one of the many Notion Rains this draft is throwing at us. Beam Splitter Mage is not great, although drafting this in like a 4 or 5 card deck probably opens up some possibilities that you don't really get in the average Is It deck. Happy to take a Notion Rain here, though. Undercity Uprising kind of sucks. I do not mind Vernati Shieldmate, though. It's a 2-drop, pretty mediocre 2-drop, but a little bit easier to cast, and it works nicely with Guildmage's Forum. Follow that up with either Is It Guildgate or another Shieldmate. Severed Strand's also a possibility here, but I think I'm just going to snap up the Guildgate. If we can get at least 2 per pack, and Gateway Plaza coming back is fantastic. Hired Poisoner would be pretty good here too. So the way this plays out is you normally want a couple finishers, Gatekeeper Gargoyle being one of them. We want maybe 2 to 3 good finishers, big flyers or something like that. And then the rest of the deck wants to be very defensive, make sure that we're casting our spells, make sure that we've got our mana set up, and make sure that we have removal. I'm going to take Urban Utopia here. Right now we've stuck to Sultai colors, which is kind of nice. So yeah, Wishcoin Crab is kind of exactly what we're looking for. Just a card that you can put down, stabilize the board, and be pretty happy with. This is a little bit more interesting of a pick. I don't think it's Sprout and Renewal. I would rather have Crush and Canopy over this card basically any time. And Rezone Lurcher's probably not the pick, so that leaves Garrison Sergeant. You can usually get these like almost last in the pack, but I think having one of these is good, and it is pretty good with Guildmage's Forum, right? So I'll go ahead and take my Sergeant now. Yeah, see? Don't need it. I'll take Child of Night here. And Bartisan Bats. Hopefully not playing this bat. Definitely not playing Undercity Uprising. But I think that pack went well. We got a little bit set up with kind of what we want to be doing with the Gargoyle and the Guild Summit. We've got some 2-drops to curve things out, and we're basically stuck to Sultai right now. Kind of awkward to have this random Boros card attached to that. Going into the next pack, we have Watery Grave. Shocklands are fantastic here. They don't count for the Guild Gate stuff because they're not gates, but they do help your mana. There's also Direct Current, which I'm probably going to stay away from on account of it being double red. Swarm Guild Mage is very good, in my opinion. I find this card to be decent. And then also Chemister's Insight. So lots of pretty good cards here. I think I'm just going to take Chemister's Insight. I could see an argument for any of these 3 cards, Watery Grave, Insight, or Swarm Guild Mage. I would definitely take Watery Grave over Dimir Guildgate, although that might actually be wrong, given the Gatekeeper Gargoyle, the Guild Summit. Be kind of interesting. I'm going to take Chemister's Insight, though. Card advantage is great. Here's a Circuitous Route, also a Hypothesizzle. I have noticed you don't actually need Circuitous Route in these sorts of decks, because once you've got to 4 mana, you have such a wide array of mana that you just don't need a card like this. This will help with like these awkward Boros cards in our basically Sultai deck, but I still think I'm just grabbing Hypothesizzle here. Have removal. I don't really have any removal yet. Not looking to play Bardisan Bats. Yeah, I'll take Hypothesizzle. Might even get Circuitous Route back. Ooh, Flower Flourish is a card I like quite a bit. It helps with the white splash without having to put too many planes in your deck. There's also Capture Sphere. Darkblade Agent takes a hit in our deck. Another Gateway Plaza, which if I take Gateway Plaza now, I don't really have to prioritize another one for the rest of this draft. 2 Gateway Plazas is pretty good. The first one came back in pack 1, though. Wonder if I'm supposed to take, like, Capture Sphere or Flower. I'm going to take the Plaza and just kind of be set on our mana fixin'. There's another Flower Flourish. Another Garrison Sergeant. Not really the finisher I'm looking for. I'm going to take Flower here. Again, it helps with the white mana while also giving us a powerful late game spell. This is a little more interesting of a pack. I think Fresh-Faced Recruit is really good with Guild Mage's Forum, but it is a aggro card, right? And we're not necessarily looking to be an aggro deck. And I'm not sure how many Notion Rains I want. I think I might actually take Capture Sphere and hope to get back the Golgari Guildgate or the Crushing Canopy. Yeah, again, can't overlook removal. So another Shieldmate, a Dimir Informant, or Thought Erasure. I don't think Erasure is what I want here. Shieldmate, I think I'm going to take Dimir Informant, actually. Surveil helps with this deck, too. Right now, I only have 4 Guildgates. I would like to pick up a couple more, but there were a bunch of Golgari Guildgates in this pack. I'm hoping some of them will. I believe this is the pack we've... No, this is pick 7, so this is not the pack we opened. Veiled Shade also tends to be just decent here. But I'll take a Dimir Guildgate over, like, Radical Idea. Join Shield is not the gold card we want. Alright, I'm going to take Crushing Canopy now as a sideboard card. Just very effective. And I'll take Veiled Shade over some other cards that I'm not intending to play. Alright, Circuitous Route did come back. I'll go ahead and snag it here. See what comes of it. I'll take Severed Strands now. I guess Crow Swarm. I didn't realize there were 2 of them. Crow Swarm could be a decent finisher. It is a big beater, right? Big flying beater. Garrison Sergeant is just so awkward to cast for us. Although we'll probably end up playing Urban Utopia. We have quite a bit of mana fixing at this point, plus Circuitous Route. I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the Swarm. And I guess Hammer Dropper, even though I'm not playing Hammer Dropper. Crushing Canopy number 2, I don't mind. And another Veiled Shade. Going into pack 3, unfortunately, no like super great gold bombs or anything. Like, we would not mind, you know, a Niv Mizzet or Thief of Sanity or something along those lines, Aurelia, but looks like we're not going to get it. Justice Strike is interesting, but not really the pick here. So, Quasi-Duplicate's good on basically anything you cast it on. We don't have too many, like, huge creatures or anything, but I think Quasi-Duplicate is probably still the pick over the next best card for us being, like, another Guildgate or Urban Utopia. Oh, I guess there's Deadly Visit in the pack, too. I didn't even really see that. What do we have for removal so far? We've got the Hypothesizzle and the Capture Sphere. We have a Severed Strands up here, and that's about it. It's kind of a tough pick. I want Quasi-Duplicate because it is so good with basically any creature. But I think I'm just going to pick up the removal spell. Follow that up with, again, not quite what we're looking for. I could see taking Boros Guildgate here. True Fire Captain's even a stretch for the Boros Guild, right? We're probably going to play Garrison Sergeant, and that's going to be tough, but double red, double white, and an aggressive card that we're not really looking to play anyway. Not quite. I'm going to take Boros Guildgate here over, say, Hired Poisoner. Probably wheel something out of that pack. Ooh, another Gargoyle is perfect. 2 Gargoyles is kind of what we want to finish out the games, right? Sky Knight Legionnaire is good. Is it Guildgate? I don't think Goblin Electromancer is super good in our deck. I like Crowl Forgers a lot as well. Pitiless Gorgon might be my pick, though. Nice little defensive card. Another card that plays well with Guildmage's Forum. And again, I don't think we're trying to be super aggro. Plus, the Boros cards are the least likely to make our deck here. If you look, we're basically soul tie with like 1 Boros card. I might just not even play this and then be soul tie splash in red for a Hypothesizzle, and that's it. Yeah, that seems like a plan. Here, so we have the option for another Shieldmate, Necrotic Wound. We're not super creature heavy, so Necrotic Wound's not that intriguing. Small Woodshaper puts that white in our deck, which we don't really need. I wonder if I even play Flower Flourish if I don't end up having really any white cards in my deck. So what is it? Shieldmate, I guess Devious Cover-Up, also a nice little defensive option. Yeah, I'll go and take that. What? Look at the Surveil pack. Whisper Agent's great here. I'm taking Whisper Agent. Spybug, as much as I love this card, is not the pick here, and Narcomoeba. I think Narcomoeba's underrated in decks that can surveil pretty heavily, but take that. I'm not really interested in Lockets either, for what it's worth, in case you're wondering why I'm not taking them. Yeah, another Pitiless Gorgon's nice. These little defensive cards that let us get to our Gatekeeper Gargoyles are nice. Lurcher going up in value a little bit. And another Canopy, or, oh no, this is not Urban Utopia. I hate that this card looks like Urban Utopia. I'll actually take Selective Snare over the 3rd Canopy. Follow that up with Dazzling Lights is a card I actually like. Sure, Crow Forger is another card I like. Urban Utopia. Some Garbo, and some Garbo. Alright, so we actually ended up basically soul tie. And so what do we have for guild gates here? We ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guild gates. That's probably where I want to be minimum to play Guild Summit. And 2 Gateway Pauses is pretty nice. I'm going to play all of these guild gates, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I need a Plains in my deck, right? Because Vernati Shieldmate can be a green card. I don't really need Flower Flourish unless I really want to find my 6th land. Because Flourish, honestly, not going to be great in our deck. I guess it lets us cheat on a forest nest, technically, right? Technically. It doesn't really do that in this sort of deck because you can't reliably have the first green source, and we're not green-white, so we're not always going to have Plains Forest. So I think I'm actually going to cut Flower Flourish, Dazzling Lights. Don't think I need that many Urban Utopias, but we'll see. Maybe the Garrison Sergeant still makes the cut here, just on account of possibly being decent in our deck. I think Kraut Swarm will actually get cut. Just looking through initially what stands out is something I'm not super excited about. I'll take Veiled Shade out here. I'll take 1 Urban Utopia, and then we still need to make 2 more cuts here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Maybe the Lurcher. This is just a big creature, and that's basically all it is. Circuitous Route, again, you don't necessarily need this card in your deck. It is really nice to follow up Guild Summit with Circuitous Route, though, and have Draw 2 attached to this card. Maybe Devious Cover-Up's not where I want to be with the double blue. Sure, I'll cut Devious Cover-Up. Counterspells are not exactly our game plan. And then maybe Child of Night. That leaves us with only 1 2-drop in the deck. So against aggro decks, we could have a lot of trouble since we don't have early game removal. I could also see Corral Foragers coming out and just being brought back in against aggro decks. And then we really got to consider the mana here. So we know we don't need the planes, right? Does this show us color distribution? No, I hate that it lumps in gold cards with the rest. I want to see how many blips I have. Anyway, we'll do it the hard way. So black cards, we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to count these. 8, 9, 10. 10 black cards, and they gave us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black sources. Does not quite seem like enough. The red's probably fine, right? We have 2 red cards in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the red is fine with just a single mountain. I don't even know that I necessarily need a mountain since I don't have ways to fetch up basics, I don't believe. Also, Urban Utopia counts towards all the extra non-green sources. For blue, do we need that much? Probably, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue cards. And that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue sources. And then green is probably our most important on account of the Urban Utopia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 green, and that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I think I'm going to just dump another forest in here, and we'll call that a deck. Again, the awkward mana base is going to get us in trouble. I don't expect to go the full 5 wins with a deck like this, but I have before, and the gargoyles are going to be big game if we can put them down and protect them. Plus, we've got a couple decent removal spells. Severed Strands is okay with some of our like middle of the ground creatures. We have the Guild Summit going for us. We've got a couple Gates Matters cards, and I think this deck set out to do what we forced in the draft, so kind of happy with it, even if it doesn't do too well. And with that, we'll say thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here, and let's get into the matches. And here we are. Well, we have Wooburg in our opening hand. We're going to go Shieldmate into Guild Summit, and that hopefully sets us up for extra Guild Gate draws. Hypothesizzle can help us stabilize a little later on, and we're looking to leverage the Shieldmate to get us through at least the really early part against Jopo in round 1. Another Sarkin. Boros is the one color we really just do not want to play against, right? We do not want to play against Boros decks here. So we don't have a lot of defensive action or a lot of early game stuff to do. Thankfully, they didn't play anything on turn 2. Let's go ahead and get our island down here. Sequences is a little bit awkward. Making sure you have the right colors. If my opponent doesn't do anything super impactful, I do want to get the Guild Summit down. But this could be a good turn 4 play. Wow, nothing, huh? Alright, let's go ahead and attack and just kind of sniff out what the opponent does. I guess I can actually wait on Guild Summit, right? And just get more creatures down while my opponent doesn't have anything. Black is a little bit more important than red. Let's go and play Dimir Informant. See what we've got coming up here. I'll leave Guild Gates on top. Justice Strike. Alright, sure. I don't mind my opponent Justice striking there. Yeah, I'll keep Capture Sphere on top, but I'm going to go ahead and ditch the Swamp. Capture Sphere is a nice answer here to any super problematic creatures our opponent can play. Them using Justice Strike on one of our weaker creatures is nice. And Capture Sphere is a good answer to this, since Hypothesizzle is a little awkward. Let's go ahead and get Wooburg down. Let's go ahead and capture this thing. And if my opponent plays a Bargain Sergeant, it's a little annoying, but I'm going to go ahead and attack here. My opponent could have a number of haste creatures that get me for doing that, but I'm probably not just chump blocking a Bargain Sergeant anyway. Oh, risk factor? I'm taking 4 for sure. My life total is still pretty high. I'll even take another 4, I assume, if they want to just go ahead and cast another risk factor. Ooh, Gargoyle. Not amazing now. So I think this is the turn to get Guild Summit down, since I can at least draw a card off of it. And I don't think the extra 1 point is going to matter too much here, so I'm going to actually leave Dimir Infiltrator in hand. Oh, I'm glad it does that, actually. Guild Summit is forcing me to tap, because it has tapping gates as part of the requirement. I'm glad they put that in there. Yeah. Oh, well, that's annoying. Oh well, that draws us a card at some point. They didn't have the haste creature. Okay, they didn't have the haste creature last turn. In fact, they spent their turn playing Risk Factor. We have a 6-mana play here. Rubble Belt Boar. Alright, we have the Hypothesizzle for that, if we feel we need to Hypothesizzle that. Ooh, Whisper Agent also pretty nice. That actually lets us play Gateway Plaza and then use Whisper Agent to kind of deal with this. Plus, as it is, this can't even really attack into Dimir Informant. So let's go ahead and play this, tap in. I think the red source is the least important if we have no intentions of casting Hypothesizzle. Is my opponent responding to my Gateway Plaza trigger? Alright. These gargoyles are going to be coming down as at least 5/5s. Yep, no tech. Opponent on 3 cards and a risk factor. I will take 4 at this juncture if they try to jumpstart risk factor, which also costs them a card from their hand, although it looks like they might be a little flooded. They didn't have any 1 or 2 drops, or 3 drops for that matter. If they attack with the boar, I'm probably going to go ahead and try to trade Whisper Agent for it. I'd rather get the boar off the board because of cards like Cosmotronic Wave and Intrusive Pack Beast than try and just sit here and block it forever. Child of Night can go away. It's not super impactful at this point. If they want to use a trick to keep their boar alive, I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, they do want to use a trick. So that, I wonder if they would have used that to block. Alright, Healer's Hawk is cool and all, but we're going to have some big gargoyles. Also, their gargoyles are going to be 6/6s now. So, shaboom. It's a big boy right there. Assume we're going to see end of turn risk factor. No way I'm drawing my opponent 3 cards. Ooh, they have another Justice Strike or something, possibly? No, I guess not. They decided not to risk factor, so they must have liked the last card they have in hand. And there aren't a lot of clean answers to Gate Gargoyle. Ooh, Inescapable Blaze. Nice. That is an answer, but I would rather that hit my Gargoyle than hit me. Plus, I've got the backup Gargoyle. Let's see if they have the backup Blaze. Rezone Lurcher probably be decent at some point in this game. I do have the option of going Lurcher and Veiled Shade, but I would rather just go and play another Gargoyle. Unfortunately, we didn't draw a gate there, so it's not bigger. Blaze is a good card to know about coming out of this match. One of the few red cards that can actually take down the Gargoyle here. Yep, we're taking 4 for sure. Opponent discards 10th District Guard. Down to 11. Still think that's a pretty healthy life total. That's a card to worry about. I'm probably going to Hypothesizzle this right away because that, I feel, is one of the ways we could end up dying here. And then I can play Veiled Shade, and I have decent blocks. I guess I also get to potentially draw into stuff. Ooh, there's the circuitous route. So let's ditch, we're going to ditch one of the 4 drops. I have a bunch of creatures in the graveyard, so the Lurcher's actually pretty good here. I'm going to go and ditch the Crab, and then play Veiled Shade, take out Smelt Ward. I am going to start attacking my opponent with this Gargoyle too. Even though they can swing back, I'm netting 5 damage to their 1. And they're top decking as well. Plus, I've got Severed Strands. If something becomes really awkward here, I can always sack the Dimir Informant to gain 4 life and kill a creature. So I think we've kind of got this one on lock. Ornery Goblin's not going to change that. I just have to be careful about cards like Cosmotronic Wave. Opponent did not attack, so I assume that means they're blocking. We're going to go ahead and draw a bunch of cards here off Guild Summit. I'll go ahead and just get the non-Gateway Plaza, so I have the most mana to use here. And this is the point where I no longer really want to show my opponent any cards. but I am going to play out this Lurcher. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play out the Lurcher. It's just huge. Next turn I can attack with probably the Gargoyle, the Lurcher, and the Shade. Alright, my opponent demonstrating a pretty key mistake that I think a lot of people make. They did not attack me with the Healer's Hawk, but they also didn't block with it, which means they gave up a point of damage and a point of life, which matters because they're at 6, so the Gargoyle is now lethal on them. If you're not planning on blocking with a creature, then you should at least be attacking with it, right? Ooh, Guildmage's Form. Let's not show our opponent that. Let's just go ahead and jam here. They have to block Lurcher plus Gargoyle, and probably Veiled Shade. I have 1, 2, 3 block sources. They don't have to block the Veiled Shade, but we're going to go ahead and enter the Abyss mode, where our opponent's essentially sacking 2 creatures a turn. They will be at 7 as well, so they don't necessarily have to block Gargoyle next turn, but I think we'll have enough creatures that they just die. I'm not even going to play anything else here, not give my opponent more information about my deck. I just don't see a way we lose with what we have on board. I guess Citywide Bust would be a pretty egregious card for my opponent to draw here. So let's see what we can do about Boros. Selective Snare is usually decent because they have like a lot of humans or auras and stuff like that. Dazzling Lights I like a little bit. So cards I'm considering are Dazzling Lights. We only saw Healer's Hawk as far as flyers go. Crow Forgers I always love against these decks. And then that's probably it. Barrier of Bones has some sort of play to it. Selective Snare is also a consideration. I think the Garrison Sergeant goes way down in value. So we'll cut that. I'm going to cut the Circuitous route because that is a little bit on the cuter side for our deck and not necessary. And then anything else that we're just not looking to really play here. I like Pitiless Gorgon as a way to trade off with basically anything. Yeah, let's just not bring in one of the cards we said we were bringing in. Dazzling Lights is so good with our Death Touch Gorgons. Forgers is 100% coming in here. I guess we don't need Selective Snare. Sure. And we'll go ahead and do that. See you for game 2. Game 2 against Jopo, against an opponent who seemed to have a pretty decent deck here. This is not going to get us there, but I think it's better than going down. I think I just want to find creatures, although this saves me some damage and looks for creatures, but I think I'm just going to bottom that and hope to actually hit creatures off the top or some removal spells, because as it stands, we're not going to be doing very much this game with what we have. We'll lead off with the basic, and then play Gateway Plaza on 2, probably take some damage. Good, no 2-drop is nice. Yeah, let's get Gateway Plaza down. And then we'll play Gorgon next turn. Ooh, Wojek Bodyguard. So as long as they don't have a haste creature, that's not actually super threatening right now. I could play Guild Summit and set up my next couple draws. And that would let me play a 3/3 Pitiless Gorgon next turn, but that just makes it a better attacker, not really a better blocker. I guess it lets it survive Direct Current, which we haven't seen from the opponent yet. It's actually kind of interesting. As much as I want to get more colors down, it's also Capture Sphere next turn. Oh, I guess I can play Guildmage's Form untapped next turn if I really want to. So let's just go ahead and jam the Gorgon here and pass. That way, if they do have a haste creature, I at least threaten to block this Wojek Bodyguard. The plan right now is to Capture Sphere some other creature they play so that the Bodyguard still can't attack. Assuming they, of course, have another creature. Hopefully nothing with haste this turn, but even then I'll snap block here. Sky Knight Legionnaire is probably worst case scenario. It's going to be a 3/3 and they're probably going to trade off. They might only attack with the Legionnaire. It looks like that's what they're going to do. No, they say we're going to go ahead and trade here. Okay, never mind. Really figuring it out. So I'm going to take 3. I'm going to go ahead and trade my Gorgon. And then we have kind of nothing going on. I do want to probably Capture Sphere the Legionnaire, which means I have to play Guildmage's Forum this turn, or I could just play Island. conceal the information about guild mages for him. We could be in trouble here. We don't actually have anything going on in our hand. We have the guild summon to kind of draw into more cards, but if my opponent puts like another big creature down here, we could be in trouble. Let's go ahead and capture Sphere. Keep in mind our opponent has Inescapable Blaze in their deck, so we got to be careful about what we have. Risk factor, I'll take 4. I don't love it, but it's weird to do that in response to Capture Sphere. Alright, good. Them playing nothing is nice because it lets me go ahead and play Guild Summit and draw into some cards. Question is, do I play Guild Summit, draw a card, play a Guild Gate, or do I play Urban Utopia and Guild Summit? I think I just play Guild Summit, draw 2 cards this turn, and then hopefully have some action for next turn. Risk factor currently puts us down to 9. I like the Whisper Agent. Let's not play that gate. Let's play Is It Guild Gate? Looking for removal spells. That's a nice one. Because a card I'm worried about here is True Fire Mentor. 10th District Guard. Not too big of a problem. That will trade for Whisper Agent. Oh, also we can make Whisper Agent a 4/3, which is really good here. I would rather, I think, play the Whisper Agent. So the question is, if I play Guild Mage's Forum, I can play Urban Utopia this turn as well, right? So I go boom, boom, Urban Utopia, just a cantrip, and then play Guild Mage's Forum as my land for turn, and then the plan is to Whisper Agent on attacks. Selesnya Guildgate for next turn. I think we're doing fine here. Our Gargoyle has the potential to be really big here. If I can get 2 more gates down before playing the Gargoyle, it can even survive Inescapable Blaze. This looks like risk factor here. Hopefully discard in a non-land. No. No. Fire Urchin. Okay. We can deal with a Fire Urchin. Maybe they had that in hand. Alright, let's go ahead and make blue mana. Cast the Whisper Agent, please. There we go. I will 100% keep Deadly Visit on top in case my opponent does play like a True Fire Captain or something. And we've got a good block here, so let's see if there's a combat trick involved. Ooh, that's best case scenario for me, because these just trade. I get another card out of my opponent's hand. I lose my 4/3, but just 2 for 1 my opponent, and I got to surveil off that. Here, I think it's time to just go ahead and snap off a Gargoyle, because I'm not worried about Fire Urchin, and if they blaze the Gargoyle, that's not even the worst thing in the world. So I will play Selesnya Guildgate, and then go ahead and play a 6/6 Gargoyle. Maybe I should wait until it's a 7/7. Yeah, let's just play Dimir Informant this turn. My opponent already can't really deal with that. It means I should have played Gateway Plaza, but I didn't actually have that Informant in hand. We'll ditch the basics, and we'll pass. Yeah, I think it might be important to just make sure the Gargoyle is a 7/7, because we haven't seen a card out of our opponent's deck that can actually deal with that. We'll go down to 9 here. Crow Foragers would be a pretty good draw. Alright, see if our opponent has like a Sure Strike or something, or another combat trick. Nope. Alright, so we're going to play Gateway Plaza, draw a card, play a 7/7 Gargoyle. Hey, there's the Forager. 2 creatures in graveyard, so puts me at a comfortable life total. And, oh, also here's a 3-turn clock in the air. Yeah. Get in there. Why not? I don't think my opponent's attacking into me next turn. Blaze doesn't even kill this anymore, and if they had like a naturalize effect, I think they would have killed Capture Sphere a long time ago. So I think we're going to get there with this Gargoyle. I will play Foragers. I have how much mana? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I can play a 5-drop and a 4-drop. We'll play Foragers and then just hold up Chemister's Insight. Foragers also super relevant here. The life total buffer matters. In case, again, Cosmotronic Wave is a card that we're semi-worried about. I don't think we die to a Cosmotronic Wave, but those are the type of games you end up losing, is where your opponent taps you down or makes it so you just can't block with a board that you were pretty stable on. Ooh, Tajik is a nice card here. I don't know that it actually has any good attacks, though. It does stop Hypothesizzle from killing their other creatures, but I don't even know if that's relevant. They still don't have good attacks even with Tajik. Okay. We can destroy everything. Let's go ahead and play the Stray first. And we can play a 3/3 Shieldmate. I just want to keep up Hypothesizzle at this point. We're going to win next turn with our Gargoyle anyway. I guess our opponent could draw Justice Strike. Maybe I should be attacking with this thing as well. Opponent down to 6. What you got for my Gargoyle? That's the question. Plus my hand is just loaded anyway. They could also have like a Luminous Bonds or something, but we still haven't seen that. Ooh. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to go ahead and just pop Tajik now. Opponent reading Tajik. Let's go and discard Veiled Shade. Target Tajik. I could see you losing to a pump spell here. No? Okay, so now I don't think we're dying. My opponent's currently got 6 power on board with Mentor. They would need to find another 5 damage. Even Sure Strike wouldn't kill us with the Fire Urchin trigger. And, okay, they blew up. I was going to say, it's probably no reason to not play around Justice Strike there, but I think we just attack out and win even if they do Justice Strike the Gargoyle. Taking a game against Boros feels good. So let's see if we can repeat that a bunch more times. See you in match 2. And we're back for match 2. So secretly I want to be on the draw with this deck. So against really slow Dimir decks or something, I'll probably take the draw. But I chose the play because I don't know if I'm against an aggro deck. I like this hand. It has 3 colors of mana and an Urban Utopia. So it has a 2-drop, potential 3-drop. It's got a late game plan, late game removal spell. So we can stay pretty stable early on. I like it. The double Gargoyle is a little on the weird side. And I think we just Urban Utopia right now. I would rather find my 3rd land than just get down a 2/2. That's ultimately not going to matter much. Could also just not find our 3rd land and then we'll be in trouble, but not much I can do about that. Hoping to see green and not blue. Oh, that means we're probably against a blue deck. Okay, so we did not find the 3rd land, which is extremely bad because we kind of don't want to fall behind a Dimir deck here, but looks like we're not going to have a choice. Not much I can do about that anyway. I mean, if we draw lands, we're still pretty good. We can cast these Gorgons. Ooh, Blood Operative is annoying. Alright, is it Guildgate? Sets us up for next turn. No, I would rather my opponent attack into me, I think, than attack into them. How good is Blood Operative against my deck? Not super good. Rizal Mortar, I think, is the only card that cares about my graveyard. They are probably actually Golgari, though. Just playing a couple cards that happen to care about surveilling. Alright, the attack with the snitch is weird. I know they can get this operative back, but I still think it's right to try and block the most damage since I just want to survive at this point. See like a surveil creature here or something? No. Opponent also missed their 4th land, it looks like. So do we play Gorgon or Whisper Agent? I think Whisper Agent has the potential to just get them here with the Whisper and Snitch. So I'm going to play Whisper Agent, and the Surveil seems like it matters when I'm looking for land. So I like playing the Whisper Agent, potentially have a Whisper off here. See if my opponent attacks into the Whisper Agent. I could be playing anything given my land, so they might not even be playing around the Agent. And if they want to use a trick to save their Whisper and Snitch, then I'm fine losing my Whisper Agent. Get out of here, Crab. You're not a land. 13 cards into the deck with only 3 lands is pretty bad. Let's see if we get to eat their Whisper and Snitch. Again, if they use a pump spell here, I'm fine with that. It's just like a Pax Favor, Might of the Masses, even Status. Okay, sure. Again, I'd rather them use a premium removal spell like that early on. Dimir Informants. Yeah, we're looking for lands. Okay, there we go. So I think I want Boros Guildgate on top. That way I can still play a 3-drop and play my land for the turn, which I can't do if I play the Gateway Plaza, but I ultimately want to draw that Gateway Plaza as well. So we're going to definitely be playing a Gorgon next turn. We have our next couple turns basically set up, right? We know almost exactly what we're going to be doing. We got the mana to do basically anything we want. That's not true. We don't have Deadly Visit active, but we will once Gateway Plaza comes down. So next turn, we're assuming we don't have to cast Capture Sphere, like no stupid Doom Whisper or anything here. Then we are going to play Gateway Plaza, play Pitiless Gorgon. That'll be our turn. Then we get to untap with Deadly Visit, and 7/7 Gargoyles if we draw a 6th land. Granted, our opponent used a removal spell to win a combat there. They're going to kill my Gorgon? Whoa. That is weird. 2 for 1 to kill my Gorgon. I don't even care about my Gorgon. Alright, well, Dimir Informant's going to go ahead and inform them of this 1 damage real quick. And then we'll do exactly what we said. Gateway Plaza. That was a really weird play. I guess my opponent's thinking, like, I get to keep attacking into him because I have Death Touch. So they might as well get it off the board. But their Snitch probably has some sort of value. And we play another Gorgon. I wonder if they're actually, like, Dimir splashing green and they just don't have blue. Yeah, that might be it. They might be a Dimir deck splashing their green cards and they just didn't hit an island. But for them to just blow up there at 25 life is kind of crazy. I usually like having the Devious cover up against the Dimir decks, but I don't really know enough about my opponent's deck to do very much here. We actually didn't even see that many cards. I guess Dazzling Lights is okay against Status, but they're going to cast that as Statue most of the time. So I'm just debating whether I want like Devious cover up. I could see Lurcher being pretty poor. Dazzling Light's also good against Blood Alliance. What is the vampire, the 3/1? I don't remember its name. Wishcoin Crab, probably less necessary here. Let's go ahead and just up our control game just a tiny little bit by putting in the counter spell over the 2/5 and see how that works out. Alright, how do we feel about this hand on the draw? Opponent's mulligan. I think I'm going to keep this because I do have the Shieldmate. I need to draw 2 lands to make this hand good because the Chemister's Insight and the Gargoyle Hypothesis are pretty close to being dead draws, but being on the draw with my opponent Mullen, I think is fine. Opponent scries to the top here. Yep, I think we were right. And drawing the double black 5-drop is not where we want to be. We just want to rattle off lands, basically. Vidalcan Mesmerist. This is when it becomes tapped, or when it attacks, so that's kind of annoying. I'll just go ahead and get Gateway Plaza down then. Since my Shieldmate's not going to be able to block anyway, I'll take this turn to go and get all down. I'm going to be taking a lot of damage up to the point where I can deploy multiple threats, Because this is going to hit me for 2, and then next turn this plus whatever they play is going to hit me, and I won't be able to block profitably. Or they could just get mana screwed. I'm going to play Shieldmate first because it can just attack into them, and then follow up with Child of Night after that if I don't draw another land. If I draw a 4th land, I'd rather just Chemister's Insight. A little unfortunate, our opponent is screwed in their 3-color deck. Yeah, we'll just Chemister's Insight. Or do I Circuitous Route here? Might just be Circuitous Route. Sure. If they have Disdainful Stroke, they have it. I'm not going to play around Disdainful Stroke. Let's get, we have blue, blue, green, and anything, so I definitely want the black one, and then I don't think it really matters what I get. Probably Boros, just to have diversity of colors. And now we're pretty set up. We could even just cast the turn. I guess it's not turn 5 anymore, but you get it. We can cast this Gargoyle. Might even go Child of Night, Chemister's Insight. Ooh, Night Veil Sprite. Kind of want to kill that, actually. I'm going to go and play Gargoyle on account of them playing the Night Veil Sprite. Especially since there's not really much they can play on double blue that deals with this Gargoyle outside of a bounce spell. That's only a temporary plan. Alright, if they attack with the Sprite, I'm going to assume they have maybe Status here. Which would make sense, since they give it Death Touch and trade off. Even then, I'd probably still block. I want to get this Sprite off. I think my hand's really good. But I'm not 100% sure what my opponent's going to do here. Oh, they're thinking about Severed Strands, it looks like. They're going to sack their Mesmerist to kill my Gargoyle. At least that looks like the plan, given how they keep highlighting their own cards. Maybe. Maybe. Whatever it is, it's a pretty painstaking decision for them. Okay, yep. Oh, sacking Night Veil Sprite? Really? That's so much better than the Mesmerist. They can't think that this Mesmerist is going to go all the way, right? It's not even like it stops me from attacking them back. Notion Rain. Do I want to cast that? I think I'd rather go Child of Night, Chemister's Insight, which means cast in Chemister's Insight first. Okay. I cannot play this Gateway Plaza if I'm intending to cast Child of Night, so we'll just play that attack. And now, if they attack with Mesmerist, I'll just block with whichever creature they decide to, whichever creature they don't target with the Mesmerist ability. My opponent has played Severed Strands very weirdly these games. Game 1 and this game. Night Veil Sprite is so important. Piston Fist. Did not see that coming. And that might be worthy of a removal spell. Oh, and they have the dead weight? Oh, Necrotic Wound. Okay, opponent gets to keep attacking here. Maybe Mesmerist will go all the way. I hope not, Jesus. Okay, Guildgate. So options here. Can only play one removal spell. I think I just want to go Hypothesizzle. Hypothesizzle plus Gateway Plaza for the turn. Could also go Dimir Informant plus Bidalus Gorgon. That doesn't seem bad. That actually seems decent. I can just play Is It Guildgate? I don't think I need either of these. Urban Utopia just kind of uses my mana to get to the next card, so I'd rather just draw the next card, if that's the case. Can't attack my opponent this turn. But this gives me nice defense against my opponent now. Necrotic Wound for exactly 1. And an Exile, so Violent or Lurcher. We have removal spells for any 5-drops my opponent could play. I guess Night Veil Predator would be the worst case scenario for us, because we can't remove it. We don't have very many flyers. Crow Swarms, manageable. I don't love using my removal spells on Crow Swarm, but we'll do it if we have to. I think Hypothesizzle is the right one to use. Because I have cards I don't mind discarding with Notion Rain, even though I'd rather not discard Notion Rain. And what does my attack look like? Can I attack with this Gorgon? I can. Sure. Maybe I'll just Notion Rain here first. Give me better options as to what I want to discard. Don't want to leave myself dead to like a maximize altitude on Piston Fist or something like that. Okay, Plague Crafter. Alright, let's go ahead and Hypothesizzle. Sure, I'll discard Veiled Shade here. No, I'll discard Stray. Is that right? Veiled Shade's a decent attacker. 1, 2, 3 black sources, 4 with a Gateway Plaza. Alright, I'll go and ditch the Stray, which always feels bad, but we'll go ahead and get rid of this Krell Swarm, which my opponent can get back. If they want to waste a turn getting that back, another turn cast it, and we Deadly Visit, I think that's fine. I'll go ahead and attack here. And then we'll ship the turn. I could see dying to this Piston Fist at some point in this game. But 2 cards left in the hand from the opponent. I don't mind just chumping the Piston Fist if they cast some sort of like other spell just to get it enabled. I'll throw Dimir Informant in front of it and still try to trade off the Mesmerist. Actually, throw whatever in front of the Mesmerist and then whatever they shrink in front of the Piston Fist. But their 2 cards in hand matter. Hired Poisoner, that doesn't matter as much. It's a nice trade for Pitiless Gorgon, I suppose. Maybe I should have just kept the Stray because it's something easy to sack to play Crafter. And then they're going to get back Krell Swarm here. Oh, what? Really? Blood Operative? That seems weird to me. They could have discarded... Huh? Oh, no, they couldn't have. Right, it costs mana to do that. Well, is it Gargoyle time then? It's probably just Gargoyle time. If that's going to be their play, I have Guildgate. This is going to be a 9/9 Gargoyle. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be an 8/8. That's a big Gargoyle. Yeah, I'll go ahead and come in with the Gorgon. If they want to trade off one of their smaller creatures, that makes Plague Crafter better. Alright, they're kind of in top deck mode. Krell Swarm is not going to cut it here. I also forgot I had Chemister's Insight. I like the way our deck is playing out. Granted, I think our opponent may not be the best player in the world, but they might have had a plan for playing their cards the way they did. That is currently a 5/5 Rezone Lurcher. I'm just going to go ahead and Deadly Visit Krell Swarm. Attack them for 8. Force them to have something next turn. I'll put Capture Sphere on top here. That way I can deal with basically anything my opponent plays, and then just go and play Plague Crafter. Now we'll play Lurcher. We're threatening to just kill him on our next turn with these Gargoyles anyway. This Gargoyle, not these Gargoyles. There's another card similar to this, not quite as good I don't think, coming out in the next set. I believe it's like, it's like an 8-mana 8/8 or something that costs 1 less for each gate you control. Then whenever you play a gate, you can put it back on top of your library from your graveyard. Kind of cool. But we took another round. I think our opponent got mana screwed both games, which sucks, but we could have, easily not hit our 3rd land and played a much more difficult game there. But that brings us to 2-0. Let's see if we can at least snipe the 3-0 and get our entry fee back. See you in round 3. Alright, so another awkward hand here in round 3. Again, we just don't want to play against a aggro deck, but I'm going to keep it. Uh-oh. Oh, we did. Never mind. This game is over. This game is super over. See what they follow up with, though. Playcrafter would be really nice if they just go like 3-drop. We go 3-drop, but they're going to follow up with some stuff. Orzhov. This isn't Allegiances. This actually tells me nothing about what my opponent's playing. Because they're not playing Azorius or Orzhov. Unless they are, in which case, kudos, I guess. But we're going to take a turn off to play our Gateway Plaza. Then if they don't play a creature, I'll just play Playcrafter and get rid of this. If they do, then I guess we Notion Rain. Maybe just play Playcrafter anyway. Alright, yeah, Boros Splash in black seems more likely. Fortunately, I think I have to Notion... Well, I can use Playcrafter just as a removal spell here. And then they can follow up with something. It means I'm playing Notion Rain next turn. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and yeah, just use like my 3-mana removal spell here, I guess. I don't love it. But if I draw an untapped source, then Wishcoin Crab is usually pretty good against these decks. Also, this card will be problematic for me to deal with in the long run. I do have the mana to cast Deadly Visit when I hit my 5th land. We're going to go down to 16, at least 14 before we cast anything else. So, ooh, my opponent might be on some sort of jank deck like us. Let's go ahead and cast Notion Rain. Pitiless Gorgons I don't actually want here. I'd rather just draw at least one untapped source if I can. We cannot, so we might be in a lot of trouble this game. Especially if they have another big flyer. No green mana, but anything else from the opponent here, and we're at 12 already. Atrata? Seriously? No, we have to Deadly Visit that. If we draw the untapped source, which we didn't. And we play a creature, this goes away. So that's something. But we would take 3, 4, 5, go down to 7. I also can't play the Plaza this turn, so I think I have to play Plaza plus Dimir Informant. I hope my opponent doesn't have another big play. They might also just not even use Atrata if this is all I play this turn, because it has to target, I believe. They might want to keep it on board in case I play something better. Alright, ditch everything. Maybe there's a reason to keep the mountain on top because of the Gargoyle. Gargoyle doesn't match up well against Atrata. I would not be surprised if my opponent attacks with just Sky Knight Legionnaire here, but I would be actually pretty happy if they attack with Atrata. Assuming they don't have like just some second Atrata in their deck or in their hand or something. Needless to say, we're in very bad shape though. Steamkin we can potentially beat. Steamkin into another card is pretty bad. To Boros Challenger. Sure. Yeah, we only have one removal spell. Alright. Yeah, we should have kept an untapped source, I think. So I think this turn we have to just play a removal spell. I think it has to be the Legionnaire. They can attack for 6. I don't think we can win this game from this position, but it's possible. Opponent still with 2 cards in hand and no land, too. Maybe I Hypothesizzle here instead of Deadly Visit. Let's go ahead and do that because they might actually pump Boros Challenger, just pass. And if they do, at least they use their mana for the turn on Boros Challenger. Nope, they're going to go ahead and just attack right away. Now they can pump if they want. What's the most problematic card to get rid of here? Might be Boros Challenger, actually. It deals the most damage. This is just bad for us altogether. Let's get rid of Circuitous Route. Go and kill... No, let's go and kill Legionnaire. Because our plan is to play some ground blockers next turn, which is not going to do the trick. If they have a 1-mana red spell, they can kill us here. Oh, they're going to go for it. So they're doming us for 6. Ooh, they do have the 1-mana red spell? Integrity? Ooh. I was gonna say, I don't... Yeah, that kills us. Alright, nice. So the opponent playing some sort of janky deck. Not even sure we saw what the black was for. Dispersal and Etrata. We got a little bit tied up on our mana there, so I think we can beat this opponent. Just think we got in a little bit of trouble. They played 2 humans against us. I like the Dazzling Lights. So we're probably going to make similar cuts to last time, get rid of the Garrison Sergeant, get rid of the Circuitous Route, call it a day. Hope we draw a little bit better. This can cast Child of Night on turn 3 at minimum. I think I'm going to keep rather than try to get a luckier hand or anything. My opponent has the nuts, then Chimpanzee just gets us, but we'll see. Probably Guildgate on turn 1. No, Mountain. Actually, no, never mind. We can't cast Child of Night. So we'll use this turn to go and get our cards down. Demir Informant on turn 3 seems like the play, unless they play something I feel like I just need to get off board. Sure. So, not super worried about Runaway Steamkin. Just play Informant, looking for cards, or play something. I would rather play something that just at least threatens the trade with Steamkin, rather than something that they can just attack into and pump or something. I don't know. Demir Informant's a little better, but since I already have at least the 4th land to play, I think it's fine. Opponent's got some sort of awkward deck going on here. And I imagine we're just going to sit behind Capture Sphere for the turn, use my mana as best as possible. My creatures trading off would be quite good with Rezone Lurcher. White mana. Alright, well I guess if you draw perfect, then everything works out in your favor. I'm going to go ahead and Capture Sphere the flyer. Go and take that down. If they attack with Runaway Steamkin, I'm happy to block. This can make them a bunch of red mana next turn, assuming they have another red spell. Playcrafter is a really bad draw after using Capture Sphere. I'm going to go ahead and play Generous Stray, hoping to hit another land drop. We did not. That's a decent card to have for later on. Show me the forest. Demir Spybug. What a weird deck from the opponent. Are they just going to get there with, like, basics and random cards? Okay. Okay. I mean, I think there's some argument to want to cast Dispersal. I know they're just getting their Spybug up to a 2/2. They can also attack with both of their creatures this turn, so I guess that's the plan. I got to think about how I'm blocking then. So this, I probably just want to block Steamkin. What do? They kept both cards on top as well. Generous Stray at least lets me play my Lurcher. If that's the case, I probably block the other way around, since this isn't necessarily going to be a 4/4. Although the Cyclops may not necessarily be able to attack, so it's a little bit awkward. Sure. I don't need to chump with Generous Stray, but I'm going to in case my best play next turn is just playing an Undergrowth creature. Another Gorgon, I guess, is something. I think I'm supposed to play a 4-drop this turn and keep the 3-drops to go like 2/3 if I can. So sure, we'll just play Rezone Lurcher, start getting beat down by Spybug. I'm really sad that I'm losing to a deck that just played a bunch of basics, bunch of gold cards, and is just getting there off of them. Like, Spybug and Sky Knight Legionnaire off of basics is just ridiculous in my opinion, but they're going to get there. I can't keep up with all of these flyers and extra value that they're getting. Righteous Blow. We'll see. We can at least cast something this turn. I'm going to go ahead and attack. Also, the Platecrafter just sitting in my hand laughing at me. Opponent says, okay. So, what do we do here? Probably play Child of Night plus Pitiless Gorgon. Can I do that? No, I can't, right? But I can go Child of Night plus Demir Informant. Sure. Yeah. Trying to get as many creatures as possible in the graveyard for this Foragers before I play it. Guild Summits. Guild Summit might not be the right card for this game. No, I think I need to just find removal spells for these flyers. So I'm currently taking 6, probably somewhere around the ballpark of 7 next turn. Spybug is priority number 1 to kill, I believe. Notion Rain, yep, so Spybug. I'm going to be going down to 10 this turn. Minimum. Hired Poisoner to the graveyard, but they wanted to keep one of their other cards. Boros Challengers, okay. That gives them a good attack with the Steamkin. Wow, this is nonsense. My opponent had the Luck Sack draw. Alright, Child of Night. Yeah, I can't actually even attack into Boros Challenger, so we'll go ahead and make this block. Make my Foragers a little bit better. Dazzling Lights does something here. Huh. Might be right to play Pitiless Gorgon this turn. Alright, let's get in there with Lurcher. Although getting the Foragers down now lets me start just attacking into my opponent. I only have maybe 2 turns left to do something, though. Alright, let's play Gorgon and Dazzling Lights, I believe. Opponent's still on 4 cards. Well, I don't think we're going to win this game. I just don't see how we get there in time. My opponent got extremely lucky here to draw the way they did and have the cards they have out. Unfortunately, I haven't hit enough removal. I don't think I can live this turn. They did use the Steamkin, I guess, as something. Even if I live this turn, I don't think I'm living next turn. Okay, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's actually not even lethal. 8, 9, 10, 11. I wonder if there's anything I could draw that wins me this game. 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 7 power on board. You just take 11. Alright. Well, that's not going to do it. I don't think Corral Foragers does it either. Yeah, because I can't play Foragers and Dazzling Lights. Yeah, maybe I was right to Dazzling Lights there. I still think I just lose to the Flyers. Opponent says sure. And we've got nothing, right? Let's see. Is there anything we can do with Platecrafter? They sack this. Nah. We'll give them the GG. Alright, GG, lucky opponent. I hate losing to a deck like this, but I guess if they get there, they get there. They didn't even play anything super powerful, to be honest. They just got there in the right order. Just kind of nonsense. But you lose to those decks sometimes, and that's that. We will see you all in match 4. Alright, well, we just lost a match to some nonsense, and we've got one more potential loss before we're out. Unfortunately, we're going to start on a mold of 4. Sure, I'll go to 3. Sure. Alright, well, this is frustrating, but it is game 1. We'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes for it. There's some consideration for just scooping, not showing my opponent any information, but I get some information from them. Alright. Sure. You got it. We'll mold a 3 and then get Burglar Ratted on turn 2. This might actually abruptly end the video. This is actually pretty sad, and I don't have any information there other than my opponent's probably playing Demir, but possibly Golgari. It's kind of a little bit depressing to go out, but we're not necessarily dead yet. I'm just a little frustrated that the last round opponent, like, I've got all these guild gates in my deck, really trying to make things work, and my opponent played Demir Spybug and Boros Challenger off a bunch of basics. This, I think, is fine. Mostly because I can cast the Shieldmate, although a lot of my cards are dead. The Guild Summit will be decent if I draw a third land. Notion Rain, also fine if I draw specifically Black Source, but hopefully I don't go out to just being mana screwed. That feels bad. I was having fun with this deck too, so now playing against Burglar Rat is frustrating. Just discard the Gargoyle. We're so far away from it. We need a lot of things to go right for that Gargoyle to be good. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to wrap up this video on a particularly good note. Being mana screwed, color screwed as well here. Sure. That's fine. If I draw a Black Source, this is okay. Nope. Okay. Well, we did say we were going to get color screwed, but getting mana screwed on top of that feels pretty bad. These last two games have not been particularly fun ways to go out here, I don't think. This game's not 100% over, but it's pretty close, and it looks like we're playing against a decent Demir deck. Wow, Deadweight, Capture Sphere to the graveyard, presumably to find a land. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and call it here. These last two matches were very frustrating matches to go out on, but you see what our deck was doing, and we had a lot of fun in the first two matches. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play very much of that last one, and we're going to have to take a 2-2, and I feel like our deck should have at least won the previous match, but as much as it feels bad, that's how it goes sometimes, and variance is part of the game, so I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it came to a very abrupt end there, and that's going to go ahead and do it for By Force with the 5-color deck. That leaves Boros and Demir, two pretty nice guilds to have the option to finish up with, and I've got about 2 weeks until Ravnica Allegiances comes out, so we're going to try to jam those videos sooner than later. Be on the lookout for it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and if you like the content here on Mana Rocks, let me know. I want to hear about it. If there's something I can do to improve, something I can do to be more interested, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, sorry for the abrupt end to the video, but that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. My name's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and I will see you all next time.